Today, for the very first time, I'm listening to the brand new Gangstagrass album. This is the Blackest thing on the menu. Hello everybody and welcome back to another album review / reaction here on the channel, and I have been looking forward to doing this reaction for over a week now, but I wasn't able to record it because my nephew is visiting, and so we had the opportunity to record some album or some reactions with him. So there'll be more episodes of 13-year-old, since he's 13 now, since the last time we recorded. 13-year-old reacts coming out on the channel soon, so be on the lookout for those if you're someone who's been familiar with my channel. If you're new here and you're already a fan of Gangstagrass, thank you for checking this video out. I'll get to the music in a little bit. I promise it won't be very long, unlike my normal videos where I talk for a half hour before the music even starts. I'm going to get right to it because I have several other videos here on my channel where I do talk about Gangstagrass, including reactions. I believe I did a reaction to their last album, No Time for Heroes, is that what it's called? I think. I really like that album, and it's actually, I think, in my opinion, the best produced, best sounding Gangstagrass album. And I think that's called No Time for Heroes. I think that's what it was. I should know, but I haven't been listening to Gangstagrass recently to warm up to this like I do for a lot of my reactions. But basically, if you're unfamiliar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about Gangstagrass up front, but not too much. And then I'm going to listen all the way through the entire album from front to back, talking over the music, giving you my thoughts. So I will be talking over the music. Now, I want to say, since Gangstagrass is sort of a hip-hop rap outfit, I know a lot of people, and this is for all music, not just necessarily hip-hop or rap, but a lot of people really care about the lyrics, and they want me to just sit and listen to the songs in silence, and that is not what the purpose of my channel is. What I tend to do is focus more on production side of things and the music and what I'm hearing, and why did the producers and the musicians, in this case Rench and the other members of Gangstagrass, and any guest musicians that they have, why did they put these sounds into this particular song that they did, and how does it all sound from a sonic perspective? Whether that's the song mixing as a whole, you know, the volume of the vocals compared to the volume of the music, things like that, mixing, you know, the stereo image, things like that. That's what I tend to focus on here, and I talk about that in real time as I'm listening. I will listen to the lyrics. I'll try to pay as much attention to them as I can, but for me personally, lyrics are one of the lesser important parts of a song. I tend to focus on the music first, and I think of the lyrics as another vocal or another instrument, the vocals as another instrument in the song, and it all just kind of works together to create what the song is as a whole to me. So don't expect me to be doing any deep lyrical breakdowns about messages or meaning or anything like that. I know over the last couple albums, Gangstagrass has gotten not necessarily political, but they've been a little bit more active, I guess, in social, some social. How do I want to phrase this? I don't even know, because I'm so uninvolved in stuff like this, but like social awareness for things, and I guess just talking about different things like race and whatnot. They were on America's Got Talent, which brought huge exposure to the band, and they really used their time there to promote, you know, friendship and harmony and everything, which is what the band has always been about, bringing people together. You know, and which the essential elements of the band, Gangstagrass or bluegrass and hip hop music, are two very different elements of the musical spectrum that when fans come together and can enjoy them, like me, I'm not a very big fan of hip hop music, though there are some hip hop groups that I love, like Gangstagrass, for example, or a more modern example would be Mayday. And there is some bluegrass that I enjoy as well. I love anything Dan Tyminski sings on. And there's a few other things, but for the most part, I wouldn't even consider myself a very big fan of either genre, but you put those two things together and you get something really special. So I'm going to listen all the way through the whole album, every song. I'll have links in the description, or not link, I guess I will put links in the description, but I'll have timestamps in the description for each individual song. And then after the whole album is done and I've listened to the whole thing, I'll give my sort of overall thoughts. So if you just want to skip to the end of the video, feel free to do that. Everything will be clearly listed on the timeline and in the timestamps in the description. I also have to just say, this is the first sort of longer video that I've recorded since I If for those of you who've been following my channel know, I was diagnosed with leukemia at the beginning of the year in January, and we're already in May. I've had 6 months of treatment, and I was just told the other day that we're going to basically have at least another 6 months, but everything's looking very promising. And in the next 2 weeks or so, I'm going to be getting my bone marrow biopsy for this sort of end of the first 3 stages that will be telling me whether or not there's any cancer left in me or not. And regardless of if there is or if there's not, I still have another 6 months or so of treatment to go, but it's going to probably slow down significantly. And the medications that I'm on will be different. I think it'll be less chemotherapy and more medication, but there will still be chemo in there. And some of it will be oral instead of IV. And so I don't know if I'm going to keep my PICC line or not. Anyway, the only reason I bring that up is to say that for the first time in 6 months now, I've been getting these dreaded sort of mouth sores that I have been warned about since January that could be are very common and often occur as side effects for some of the chemotherapy drugs. And I've been getting them. And so this is going to be the first longer video that I've recorded where my mouth is kind of hurting. And so if I'm talking a lot in a weird way or I sound a little different, it's probably because I'm having to adjust my mouth in the way that I'm speaking. And I also, normally I'll drink a pop or something during these videos, but I just have a water jug here, and I'm just going to be periodically sort of like wetting the inside of my mouth to help everything stay fresh in my mouth and everything, and so it doesn't hurt as much. So if it would get to a point where my mouth would be hurting, I'll just stop, but I think I'll be able to make it through. It hasn't been bothering me that much throughout the days recently. It's a little bit worse at night, but anyway, I just wanted to point that out and say, if you are someone who's been following the channel and you're aware of all this stuff, that's why. Don't worry about me. I still think everything is going great. Just a side effect of some stuff. Hopefully it'll be okay in a week or so. Let's see what else. Oh, I did mention earlier that I have 2 or 3 Gangstagrass videos out on the channel. I do believe I reacted to their most recent album, which I really did enjoy. And then I also did, at the time before that, when they were on America's Got Talent, this is when I was on the other side of the room, I recorded a video that I think you can find on my channel that's just called Who is Gangstagrass? And I uploaded it, and no one watched it at all, which is fine. Most of the videos on my channel only get like 100 views or so. But that video, I remember putting effort into in terms of the thought process that went into it. But in that video, I go through every single album and everything that Rench has released. And I talk about my feelings of it, what each of the projects are, side projects, things like Elkhorn Riders, Gangstagrass, of course, Rench's own work, things like that. And I'm really proud of that video because it was a lot of talking. There was no music in it whatsoever. I didn't play clips of anything, but I did include a link to a Spotify playlist that I don't even know if that's still active. I still have it in my links on my playlist on Spotify, where I just kind of made like a greatest hits of all the Rench projects on Spotify and just made like a playlist. I don't know if anyone ever listened to it or not. I don't even know if the link works. I should check it out sometimes. But anyway, those videos are interesting, so if you want to hear my full thoughts on Rench and Gangstagrass, head over to that video and I will break down every single album of theirs. I will say, just for those of you who know and are familiar with this catalog, Elkhorn Riders is one of my favorite things he's ever done, and that's sort of like a trip-hoppy, darker sort of no male vocals at all. It's just 3 female vocals with this sort of old school vocal harmony, and then it's all sort of slower electronic beats with bluegrass, banjo, and acoustic guitar over the top, but it's all slow. And that's what I really like about it. It's sort of trip-hop, bluegrass trip-hop with old school sort of vocal styling, harmony vocals. I really enjoyed that album a lot, and I wish he would do something similar to that, but there are certain slower songs, but nothing really has kind of touched that as much. But Rench does produce music for other artists as well. And so occasionally something will get close to that. But my favorite album of theirs is their newest, No Time for Enemies. That's what it is. No Time for Enemies. Sorry, anyone who stopped watching the video 10 seconds ago or 5 minutes ago because I said No Time for Heroes thinks I'm a big dummy, but it's No Time for Enemies. I do think that that album is their most well produced album, and I do think that I wouldn't necessarily say all my favorite songs are on there. I like a lot of Gangstagrass songs. I like a lot of Rench songs as well. I like the Battlestar stuff. I like the B-Star album. I like a lot of different things that Rench has produced, and a lot of it, I really like how you can tell throughout his career that he has become a better producer, better engineer, gotten better equipment, and I think that it's been going up, 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 up. And I was really hoping that their exposure on America's Got Talent would help lead them to another level. Even basically, you can really tell this band and Rench himself like levels up. You can really see it as he was leveling up through his career. I don't think anything he's ever made has really sounded bad, but you can really start to tell that things are starting to shine on the production side. On their last album in particular, I thought their lows were handled really well. The highs were handled really well in terms of frequencies. I did hear one song from this album earlier this year, and that is, I believe, the first track, which is called The Only Way Out Is Through. And I was a little disappointed with it. It wasn't what I was expecting. It was a slow song. I remember there was a lot of low frequencies, a lot of bass, and it featured a special guest dobro player, I believe it was. And that was really cool, but I remember at the time listening to it thinking this could have been featured a little bit more in the mix. It felt like the solo that he played was almost buried a little bit underneath everything. But I'm excited to hear the whole thing and to just kind of see what we get. So let's see how long I've been wasting your time. 12 minutes about. I can shave some of that stuff off. But let's go ahead and just get into this album now, and we'll see what we think as we are listening along. Okay, before we get in, I just did a quick search online to see if I could find like a listing of the songs and any featured guest artists or anything. And I couldn't really find anything in just my very quick search. I'm sure I could do a bit more of a deep dive. And I know that they post videos on their YouTube channel, which I'm subscribed to, of them talking about the albums and their albums and recording sessions and all sorts of live videos that they've been doing. So I know that they do all of that kind of stuff, but in my cursory search just now, it doesn't even say on Spotify or anything like that the first track featuring any sort of a guest musician whatsoever. So I did see on their website where you can go to order the CD and the vinyl. The CD is $18, which I do think is a little steep for a CD. So that's interesting. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know where they're getting it manufactured or whatever. But they said that they're going for a bit of more of a soul feel. Now that might have just been for their first single, because that was what the paragraph that they have for the album was talking about. They also mentioned something about like a brass band, which would be interesting and different. We'll see. I am not a very big fan of soul music, though some of it I really think has potential to be really great in terms of my yet to discover it. There's certain eras of soul music, and I'm not even sure if this is exactly soul music, but there are certain eras of soul music. Like there are certain Temptations songs that I've heard, like Papa Was a Rolling Stone and Ball of Confusion. When I listen to that, which I don't know, again, I'm not even sure if that's considered soul music, but if that is, then I listen to that stuff and I go, this is incredible. The production is incredible. The drums sound amazing. First of all, everything about those two songs I just mentioned is great. And I'd love to hear a Temptations album from that era. One of those two songs is on. I should look into that. But if there's a bit of that vibe to this, that could be really cool. Because I think if you had those sort of drums, those type of sounding drums, with a little bit of the slower bluegrassy elements and then rapping over the top of it, that could be really, really cool vibe. And it mentioned vibe in that paragraph about the album on their website several times. So we'll see. Like I said, I did not care for The Only Way Out Is Through as much as some of their older albums or their songs on their other albums, but I don't tend to care for their singles as much. I think the single they released for their last album was my least favorite song on that album, and I really enjoyed all of the other tracks on that album, and I didn't hate that song whatsoever. It wasn't my favorite. Yet that was the one they chose to release, and I think that's the one that they played on America's Got Talent. So let's go ahead and get into this and listen to track 1, which is The Only Way Out Is Through, and then I am not going to pause this. I do have to say, in the past, I've had great luck with Gangstagrass having the copyrights to their music set such that they allow people to use it in the videos, and then I don't think that it was a price sharing thing. I think it was just all ad revenue from this video will go to Gangstagrass, basically, which I'm totally fine with. I understand how the copyright stuff works. And my even trying to use it in a video is, you know, the internet is what it is, and TikTok videos are what they are, and all this stuff. So there's all these different things, and I assume in the future we're going to have regulations imposed on all of us. And maybe we need that. Maybe it would make things better. I don't know. But I'm going to try to use the exact audio that I'm listening to you will hear in the video. But if in case I upload this video and I get a copyright claim, and it's the kind of copyright claim that doesn't allow me to use the music, unfortunately, I will have to upload the video without the music in it. And I hear a phone ringing somewhere. Upstairs. Well, too bad. I'm recording. If I upload the video and it does, the music and it gets denied, I will have to upload the video without the music in there, and I will include links, regardless of if I can or not. I will include links in the description of this video to purchase the CD and all that stuff. But I'll try to find a link so you can like stream the album from whatever service you want, if I can find like a Linktree link or something. But if nothing else, I'll post a link to Spotify so you can listen along with your own copy as you listen with me. I know that it's a big bummer. It's a big hindrance. I hate it when reaction channels do that. And I haven't found a good way around that for a lot of things. But like I said, I've had good luck in the past with Gangstagrass and the way they have their music set up. So hopefully you'll be able to hear exactly what I'm hearing. If not, I'm going to count down at the beginning of the album, and I won't do any pausing unless something just absolutely blows me away or there's some fire in the house or something. I don't plan on doing any pausing. So let's get into this. First track, Only Way Out, is through. I'll be hearing it for the second time now, or I guess the third time since I listened to it the second time when I edited the video. This is Only Way Out is through from Gangstagrass's 2024 album that came out in June of 2024, The Blackest Thing on the Menu. I'm very, very excited for this. Big fan of them. In 3, 2, 1. I do remember that. That like wood block thing, very cool.
I know the only way out is through. The only way out is. If this is the way that it must be done, I'm doing it the best. Then trust me, son. Rebel, no pauses. Taking
I do remember thinking that the vocals were maybe a little crispy fried, like they sounded like there was a bit of a distortion or something on them that might be distorted at a higher frequency. They're very crispy sounding.
Look at the way I rock a crowd. Got a big head, I could not be proud. A said no bites allowed, so I'm firing shots across the bow. Piece to Mike Jackson, ain't no doubt. Excuse me while I make my way out. Shell toes, peanut butter skimmed on the beat, on the rhythm, glass smooth tip, rimmed on the beat. I'm a dip, don't trip on the stick off the rip, no price. No
maybe there is some real low brass in there. I thought about that at the time. I just thought it was synths.
We taking a stand to get counted soon as we open it up.
That could be a brass section.
Turning it up and get loud, cause we've been heating it up since we found it. Storming the barn to get down, see how we burning it up with thick cloud.
Again, I don't know that much about rap or hip-hop music, but my distinction between the two of them is a little different. And I've had people explain it to me before where hip-hop is a style of music, whereas rap is a vocal style. To me, when I listen to something like Kanye West and Jurassic 5, those are not the same genre of music. So I guess old school hip-hop, maybe new school hip-hop, I don't know. And I shouldn't even use Kanye West as an example. I don't know if I've ever even heard one of his songs all the way through. I don't know if I've heard very much modern hip-hop at all, but something like Mayday, for example, can definitely trace its roots back to something like Jurassic 5, which is obviously being inspired by like NWA and stuff like that, which I don't know any of that early 80s or mid-80s or early 90s, really, hip-hop at all. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know that much about hip-hop, but when I listen to this and the slower beat and this to me feels more like rap music and less like hip-hop music, but maybe that's where part of the soul feel is coming in. Because I do think of soul music as being slower. And here's that dobro solo. It sounded amazing. Again, a little low in the mix, off to the side. Still very cool though. I didn't look at the total length of the album. 37, pretty good. As I look at the song lengths, yes, nothing under 3 minutes. That's awesome. And this is actually one of the shortest songs on the album. The longest song is 4:11. So all between 3:30 and 4:30, definitely. But yeah, let's see what we got. I do know they released a second single called "Good." It's good to be bad, I think is what it is. Good at being bad. I have not heard this yet.
'Cause I'm good at being bad.
Oh, there's some funk in there. Maybe that's the soul. I don't know. Yeah, listen to that bass, baby. They did have kind of a more funky song on No Time for Enemies, which I really love. I need to listen to that album again. Okay, the vocals, double track, spread wide. Some harmony vocals in there.
Gone in the worst way. First place game and get you sprung off the first taste. Patient zero, baby, you can be the first.
It's kind of like sing rapping.
Tingling and even got the first base. I'm a wolf, I ain't really about the bird chase. Get you grinning ear to ear through the wordplay.
Ooh, that's cool. Pizzicato on the fiddle.
No Earl Grey survey. This meal keep the flavor to dessert tray. Deeper than what the words say, how the constellations line.
Oh, I like that like metal, that tin pot sounding there.
Survey the giggle, get you feeling like a first date.
Those types of percussive elements just really ground things in that like bluegrass, old-timey, people sitting on a porch playing whatever feel. Ooh, clave chord. Oh, that's cool.
Feeling like the greatest in my prime tonight. The time is right. We can make that right time tonight. Light it up, feel the fire night. Feeling like the greatest in my prime tonight. Right. Tell me what you like. We do that all night.
I wonder who's singing. I know their new fiddle player sings. This could just feature a guest vocalist. I don't think this is our son or Jolio the Truth singing, but it could be.
Look, you watch me on stage being very special, not knowing my demographic is demisexual. Just because you stayed glued to each verse, before we connect, I got to know you first. Before anything occurs that's remotely physical, let's sit down and get subliminal. Maybe there's no limit to what happens after, or you want to tell your friends that you bagged a rapper. Once you're certainly the DTF, we can take these steps that'll leave you breathless. No stress, no strain, no strife. Just the best night and day of your life.
I got my Godzilla propping up,
Game is classic, it's
propping up
hardly new.
my record here.
To the after party, boom, but I'ma leave it up to you what we ought to do. Come on.
The time is right. We can make that right time tonight. Light it up, feel the fire night. Feeling like the greatest in my prime tonight. The time is right. We can make that right time tonight. Light
Probably fall over and freak me out.
Feeling like the greatest in my prime tonight.
Love the groove here. See, this is a slower groove, but for some reason it resonates with me a lot more than that first one. I need to retape my headphones up.
Tell me what you like. We do that all night. 'Cause I'm good at being bad.
Got a feeling like storm pouring down. Pumping when you hit the rubber ground. Got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. Do me like it was like water and the levee tipping over.
This could be their new fiddle player. I believe he is from Nebraska, which is where I live and where I've lived my whole life. So it's very cool to find out that there was a member of the band from Nebraska. Ooh, I love this. Mandolin solo. That's great. Don't fade out though. On the fade out board over there, I don't have to reach for it. Yes, this is great. Yeah, that song, I loved that. That was great. Okay, this is Up High, Do or Die. There's brass.
Gangstagrass in the building. Y'all know how we do. I was born most likely to succeed. Least least likely to give a damn. Kill a ton to get it done compared to all you milligrams. Stealing bread from the mouths of decadence. Like Chris and Eddie, if you're ready, time
That's a cool riff. Something like that.
Don't need to happen, so ladies and gentlemen, peep the
Banjo.
valedictory speech for
Simple.
the board of trustees and the kids on these streets. Since the days of we three, we keep it deep in these beats. Like seaweed, deep like the.
I wonder if they have a bass player in the band now.
92 Dream Team's bitch. Serving like a winch on the track from Rench. So intense it'll make your body clench. Warlock rock, excel with spell.
Brass is really hard to record and insert into a song because there's so much high frequencies in brass. They're nice because they can cut through everything, but it's tough to balance them. This is great. Yes, this is great. I love the gang vocal feel.
Open eyes to the true world with the one pill. Come chill, the one crew with the one feel. Dope rhymes with the dope beats, it's a done deal. For real, I'm in my bag and I'm on one. Toe tagging everything in sight up in my zone, son. And I've been in it for a minute, but a long run. Catalog chock full of bangers, it's a strong one. Squad been certified by the fam. 10 times on 100. Keeping
It's an interesting fiddle part to have in this, but it really works good.
Like Double D, man, shout over any beat put in front of me. You know we coming with that 5 cent and running. Told them everything you wanna try, we done done it. Try to rock the stage after us, they don't want it. Sign, seal, deliver with a stamp up on it. No limits when we put it all together. We be getting through it all no matter what.
Yeah, this sounds great.
Good, they be looking like whatever. Long as we got us, we can make it to forever.
Cool to have a good solo in this song. Love the gang vocal feel here. The overdubbing is really nice. And this could be played by a high school band, like a marching band, right? Oh, yes, great. Okay, this is Gone Gone.
Once I had a plot of land.
And I believe that's Dan Whitner or Whitner. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Built a house with my hands, and now it's gone, gone. Now it's gone, gone. Time for me to be moving on. It's gone, gone, and it won't be coming back again. I said it got to be moving on.
Yo, I vacated, I bounce. You may
Yeah.
stay, but I'm out. They waited amount of time. I
Strummed
couldn't
acoustic
mess
guitar,
with
very
it.
loose sounding. I love that.
Everything on my checklist. Then pointing my feet towards the exit. Done
Ooh.
living reckless. Time to
That little
move
drum
on.
fill,
My
very
theory
nice.
is I gotta get my groove on. I've been around these parts for too long. Adios, I'm audio. Sayonara, your dude's gone.
Went to see the friends I know, but they're all gone, gone. My honey babe, I love her so, and she's all gone.
Banjo off to the left.
Gone. Now she's gone, gone. Time for me to be moving on. She's gone, gone, and she won't be coming back again. I said it got to be moving
out the muck with the grimiest of creatures. Sticking in the streets of pimps, pushers, and preachers. Trying to be a teacher. Chopping up these lessons, break them down so they'll reach ya. Bugs and the features. Seek the meaning of it all. Trying
It's
to
an interesting
heed the
stop.
call while we up
Bit of
against
a
the wall,
reverse
trying
element
to
in there,
keep
too.
up. The ease that they lead make it seem like it's cheaper. Maybe it's the beast trying to satisfy the reaper.
Love this. Taking their time. Oh, I noticed that weird synth thing in there. Almost sounded like a frog or something. That type of thing. Oh, cool.
Watch me vanish in the air.
Oh, whispery singing.
I'm gone, gone.
Very cool.
Yes, I'm gone, gone. Time for me to be moving on. I'm gone, gone. I won't be coming back again. I said I got to be moving on. Yes, I'm
Ooh.
gone, gone. Time for me to be moving on. I'm gone, gone. I won't be coming back again. I said I got to be moving on.
I haven't heard Rench at all singing since that first track, which I'm okay with. I do enjoy his vocals, but I've been enjoying everything I've heard so far. There was that weird thing again, that like croaky frog, croaky sound. Very cool. All right, this is Mother.
My mother told me.
I love everything we've heard. There's
I'm
Rench.
trying to keep it low key.
I was like, hey, it's been too long since we heard it.
Down, you don't know me. I wish I listened what my mother told
I
me.
sit beneath a maple tree in a forest of sorts, just a short way to the waves of the beast to the north, contemplating on some things like the never-ending war, human bodies in a game where weapon spin is the score. I watch the bee collect the nectar, touching every
See, this is
bloom,
cool, the like
lightly
minimalistic
dusting them
approach
with
to the
pollen
beat.
with their bodies as
No
they
bass,
move.
that's fine.
In
They
the
don't, but
moment,
they've never
still
had a
I
bass
think
player to my
what this
knowledge. That's
matters
why
the
that
food
funky bass was
that we
earlier.
need to
Was cool.
sustain ourselves, how much they produce.
just very simple
If this
mandolin
planet is an
strumming.
organism and the people are cells,
Ooh.
and her skin is what
Ooh,
we're
that's a cool
piercing when
sounding,
we drilling these wells.
like ping
Tell
pong
me, what do
snare.
we say to ourselves? When the blood spills and brings forth the torrent
Ooh,
of
that's
death,
cool
she's
sounding
getting
snare.
more ill. Landslides and ruptures, volcanic
This
eruptions.
production, this
Long
sounds
warning about
amazing.
stories of catastrophic
Every song has
destruction.
sounded
Much
way
of
better
it
than that first
preventable
one.
with preparation or something,
Which
but
again,
how
it
many
leads me to be
lives
like,
to
why-
save stays in economics
Was that
discussion.
released just because it was the
It's
first
more
song
than
that was
hatred.
done? Or?
It's more than the greed. It's incessant bloodlust. It's more than want, it's a need. They need blood to feed the beast that they heed. Who they really pray to, you can see in their deed. Poison in the water, removing the trees. Still need clean water to drink and air to breathe. Whole nation slowly sinking down into the sea. Stop and think where you really want your children to be.
Listen what my mother told me. Now I'm trying to keep it low key. Shutting down, you don't know me.
Down.
I wish I listened what my mother told me.
They say bravery
Yes,
is favorite
great,
by
amazing.
fortune. The enslaved don't want the world.
Okay, now it's
just
more
their
of a
fair
snare-sounding
portion.
snare.
Ancestral genocide made generations of orphans. Still caught in the grip, set to snap from the torsion. The only thing that scares America more than smart young brothers out to settle the score is the older cats who stepped through the door, took the medicine for 'em to show 'em what they not settling for. Got 'em prepped up and ready for war on a
Drum
scale
fill.
the country hadn't ever seen before. Taking weight off the shoulders and letting them soar. Train them not to whimper, instead they should
Hi-hat
roar.
going back and forth a
'Cause the
little.
blood of the jungle is what flows through their veins. Creating civilization is etched into their brains. So we're done with American damage and disdain. What you should already know, I shouldn't have to explain. Let's go.
Listen what my mother told me. Now I'm trying to keep it low key. Shutting down, you don't know me. I wish I listened what my mother told me.
This might be my favorite song on the album. And I loved everything I've heard so far. Ooh. Yeah.
We in a fight for our life.
Yes, and third verse, let's go.
Christ to justify the spite. The Bible as a gun, religion as a knife. It's not right. The right trying to take away your rights. And you say both sides. Let's speak honestly. Let's talk legislation. Let's talk policy. Let's talk misogyny and bodily autonomy. Let's talk about who openly wants to bring harm to me and anyone of a darker shade. Let's stop playing games and call a spade a spade. Let's call it by its name. The only way to change is if we meet it head on and stop acting afraid. Cause we don't want to place blame right at the feet of those who fan the flames. I'm done.
I love the hi-hats and the way they're being done.
When it's clear women and darker men are who they targeting, what are you arguing?
Having that cool banjo, master banjo. It's a banjo. Interesting. I like it. That was great.
Yeah, I'll catch it on the next joint. Yeah.
That was our first swear word too in there, which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah. What they call this? Obligatory braggadocio. Dolly flowing colder than the snow up in the Poconos. Kinfolk playing folk music cause my vocal go.
Sounds a little familiar. I don't think I've heard this one though.
And my focus on get your vision fixed on the true definition of the lyrics that I spit. Take nothing for granted. What is given is a gift. If you don't keep the spirit, it's the image that's a miss from the scrimmage off the rip. 100 yards spread to the limit. I'm a tip, keep it steady on the grip.
Yeah, I love the acoustic guitars. Very nice.
On your hips till you recognize the name laying heavy on your lips. Implicitly delivered, I endeavors on the mix. Getting recognized as clever, we forever get it in. On the level past the limit, cause we give it off the strip. How we illustrate the vision to the image that you get.
I got big deals on my big truck, and I ain't bragging if I back it up. You won't test me, then good luck, cause I ain't bragging if I back it up. I got big wheels on my big truck, and I ain't bragging if I back it up. You won't test me, then good luck, cause I ain't bragging if I back it up. Come on.
Getting a little bit of that ridiculous modern country vibe where every song has to be about your truck. But I mean, that's part of the audience for this, so.
Big wheels on my big truck, and I ain't bragging if I back it up. You won't test me, then good luck, cause I ain't bragging if I back it up. I got big wheels on my big truck, and I ain't bragging if I back it up. You won't test me, then good luck, cause I ain't bragging if I back it up. Come on.
Rewind, reimagine, recalibrate. You're in the presence of the caliph of the caliphate. And the people are telling you just how he's great. The way he made the whole land amalgamate. The way the world is changing will make your brain spin. Instead of waiting for Superman, I just became him. Tore my shirt off as I left the microphone booth to let the people know to recognize their own truth. Me and my bro Sleuth redefine, show and prove, and everything I drop shines like I'm the golden goose. The crowd went wild when the anchor man told the news that they were being blessed by one of the chosen few. It's like the Jack of Spades, you know, the soldier dude. Go to war on the track to leave you with a smoking groove. Ignored the laws of physics when I broke the rules and gave you something so solar scorching and polar cool.
Big wheels on my big truck, and I ain't bragging if I back it up. You won't test me, then good luck, cause I
Like the background vocals here. The like gang vocals. Back it up. That's cool. That's my favorite part of the song. This is a solid song. It's not my favorite, but it's a solid song. It's probably a fun one to play. We're pretty. That was track 5. That was track 6. Track 7. Okay. Love this. Oh! Ooh! Oh, goodness, that's gorgeous.
The streets of my city hurting, that's certain. Youngers on the block treat their lives like they worthless. The devil's plan show is working. Got us acting as his minions on the block serving his servants. A couple thousand just looking hard for a purpose.
Sounds like a different microphone was recorded these vocals.
Watch it playing out, really ain't working. Cause right beneath the
bit of a
surface,
distortion on him
wicked
as
asses
well.
lurking. No encores when the songs of death march. The fading light of the dusk when it gets dark. Taking part in the fall with a head start. To be an item on the tally for a check mark. This ain't a pep talk. This is real issue. A little notice on something we need to deal with. Real quick, and I mean real quick. We need to get it right now on some real shit.
Avenue boy.
On the avenue,
Living in a new toy.
leaning sad to.
I'm an avenue boy.
On the avenue.
Is that a bass? Remember a bass being played high? It's very cool if that's what that is. That kick drum has like a bit of like a clap sound to it, like a flutter almost off to the side. It's weird. Sometimes it makes it sound like it's peaking, but I don't think it is. I think it's just in the kick.
Come here, young blood. Let me tell you something. Check it. He was a child of the streets. Pops was a policeman striving for peace, trying to keep his boy from going wild.
Same
in the
microphone
streets,
used for the
doing what
first
he can
verse.
to give
I don't know if it's a
the child
different
what he
microphone. It
needs.
could be a vocal effect or some
But the
kind
Av
of
had a
thing.
claim like
It doesn't. To me, the
nothing else.
vocals
Kept
don't
trying to
sound
do
as crisp and
anything
clear as they
but
did on the previous
himself. Tough guy,
tracks that we've
hustler,
heard.
Street corner soldier, boy with a goal to be, wanna be Hova instead of. What he
But
was
it does
supposed
sound
to.
good,
Pops
so I don't
said
know.
the
Maybe
mom
like
would be turning
there he's
over in her grave,
sacrificing
watching
some
the
of the
way
low
he
frequencies in the
played
vocals
grown man games, pretending he
for
was brave,
clarity
enslaved to
in
rhythm
the
of
harmony
block's
vocals. I don't know. I'm not
heartbeat.
sure. There's
Maintained
many
his
different
grades,
reasons
but not
why.
smart for the street. Didn't realize Pops got marked on his beat for an enemy crew to start sparking the heat. Now he knows what it is to feel fear. No tats on his face, he's crying real tears. The Avenue boy, he's still here, but now he takes care of his pops in his wheelchair.
Doing it right by the DNA donor. Stiff arm the trouble, don't need to risk the honor. All I wanna do is get riding with the crew. Wait for the day, I'm driving smooth with the boo. Lean set to cruise with the finish all done up.
I gotta keep remembering I have a hat on, so if I go like this, not that you can care, but like you can't see my eyes.
In the back, like a Mario one-up. On the avenue.
Ooh, I hear Rench's voice in there. It just sounds so great. Oh, that sounds so great. Such great vocal harmonies. So smooth. I love this. This is like chill hip hop. This is more of this. With the old school, like 50s vibe, maybe? I love that. Sounds like someone played Mafia and loved the soundtrack. I know I did. This is
All
palette?
the colors on the palette I'ma paint with. Lay it on the platter with the data I'ma bank with.
Man, this is such a different feeling Gangstagrass album, but I love it. It's reminding me of the.
Started with a good hug.
Hold on, I
Moving up
can't.
the scented oils, incense and foot rubs.
Ooh, that snare.
I had a
Oh,
wild
the-
life. I wondered
the-
if I
what
could
is
love.
that
Was
thing
haunted by
called?
the urge to slip into the life of hood thugs. But
We
this
had
a
one at the
good
studio
drug effect that got me shook
that I used
up.
to work at.
Got the right ingredients. Let's see what we can cook up. Open the book up to a page more than a hookup.
That's
Built
tight
up from a
snare.
whisper into something you
Great
can
sounds.
look up. Exhale, followed by deep inhalation. Thinking about the late nights and deep conversation.
Ooh, that
Talking
wah
about
guitar.
the inspirations for our aspirations, how we can make it happen through our sheer determination. Just hearing our voices say so. Both of us trying not to be the first one to hang up. because the conversation ain't done until we know how much the other's feeling this sensation. Sparrow, serenade you with the song, sharp as the arrow. Come and put me on, and I'm on another plane.
Man, if these guys made a song like this that could feature Charlie Tuna, I know, I'm sorry, I go on and on in every rap video about Jurassic 5 and how much I love them, but he's just my favorite rapper. And as far as I know, he hasn't done anything in quite a while. Not anything that I've enjoyed, at least. Ooh. The airiness to everything, the reverb, the roomy sound that's not forced. Everything just breathes so well.
More than a moment, this a timeline. They say between love and hate, there's a fine line. A soulmate, I never thought that I could find mine. Feeling all alone amongst the drones up in the hive mind. A glass of fine wine, a coffee with a fine grind. Right time, simply admiring how the light shine. To make a glimmer that's delivering the right sign. That the evening you envision in mind just might align. It's fine by me if I must say.
It baffles me that they released Only Way Out Is Through.
Photosynthesis is phonogenic
as the like, here everyone, listen to this. Because man, is everything else I've heard just so much better than that song, in my opinion.
See how me and you rock. What I need, baby, you got. Clearly this is a situation, something I can do about. Sparrow, serenade you with the song, sharp as the arrow. Come and put me on, and I'm on another plane, gone thinking about a lane shift. About to shoot my shot, and with this aim I know I can't miss. All the colors on the palette I'ma paint with. Lay it on the platter with the data I'ma bank with. All the colors
how many songs do we have left? Only 2, right?
Lay it on the platter with the data I'ma bank with.
Oh, this is so good. Oh, holy cow, how tasty this all is. I have felt on past Gangstagrass albums that Rench got samples of the musicians playing things, and then he kind of like looped them and created stuff, hip-hop stuff around it. But I've always thought, like, if you have people in your band that are such good musicians, like, let them play through the song and improvise a little bit more. I understand why that wouldn't necessarily be the way to do it, depending on how you're approaching it. But, like, this sounds to me much more like organically, like people playing. Could be totally wrong, but and maybe that's a weird thing to even, like, observe or whatever. But, like, really enjoying this. And the bass part, I mean, just great. They when I saw them live, they did not have a bass player. They just had a drum machine, and then like the 8-bit sound.
Step back, it's a lie. Step back, it's a lie.
Okay, cool.
Step back, it's a lie. Come on. Step back, it's a lie.
Superman under the sun. Extra credit, yeah, I said it. 121. Up against the force and the momentum. Power pack proportion of a dozen kilotons. Last son of Krypton. Fist of the North Star. Speed
Not a big
racer,
fan of
dream
Superman,
catcher,
but I don't
whipping
care,
in a
obviously,
sports
but
car.
whatever.
Artistic prodigy. I'ma put it on y'all and beat up the track like I'm entering the pond bar. Giving you beyond bars. This here is the real meat. Unexpected voice coming to you on this drill beat. Book level funky. Giving you the stankest rhyme with a lightning bolt, and it's alive like Frankenstein.
Step back, it's a lie. Step back, it's a lie. Let's go. Step back, it's a lie. Step back, it's a lie.
This sounds good. It'd be easy to make that too crispy. High frequencies in the vocals.
Actually, rhyme slave.
Sounds good.
Every player. Pun said we crush a lot. Started from the bottom to survive. I had to tough it out. Now shine brighter. Joke like a 12-volt. 12 bars, 12 quotes. All hope, all dope. Diamonds glaring, speakers bearing. This black excellence. Practice patience. They just acting petulant. Watch yourself, chill, player. Hey, we stay on go. H-Town born and bred. Reppin' for my kinfolk. Country rap tunes bumping out the window. It's family first, cause family matters just like a Winslow.
Step back, it's a lie. Step back, it's a lie. Better step back.
They gotta have a bass player in the band now. Oh, there's not enough scratching in music in general at all anymore. I was just watching the other day, they remastered the Portishead live in Portland. Oh. Masterful music craftsmanship, that is.
Just like that. Just like that. Just like that.
Step back, it's a lie. Step back, it's a lie.
Let's go.
Step back, it's a lie.
I feel like they had the opportunity to mess around with some horror stuff here, and they didn't do that, and that's fine. I don't know if it would have really fit the vibe of the album, but this is still cool. I do really like I do like the 8-bit sound that's been the core of this. And then always having that banjo or some element to ground it in the Gangstagrass, bluegrass sound. Very cool. That was awesome. Okay, this last track. Sankofa? Sankofa? Let this guy sing every song. I love the smoothness of his voice. I think it might be the fiddle. Him and Dan could sing well together. And there's probably harmony stuff done by all of them. Oh, see, this is just nice songwriting. That's a bass. It could be an upright bass.
Yeah.
It's interesting bass sound.
I've been paying homage to my kinfolk, feeling every drop of sunlight on my skin. So
this sounds like a Michael Franti song.
My tribal inheritance, the coffers are filling up.
And I like Michael Franti.
That is mine. The bill's been paid for by ancestors along
He absolutely could work with these guys too.
Be by the Most High's design, fixated in the mind. Right now is the time. Let's grind. We got a lot of work to do to make.
They should go on tour together.
Because
I never thought of them together. Totally makes sense. Their messages are very similar, as far as I know.
Back and fetch it, you can catch it, just ease your mind. It's easy just to slip on time. Going back and catch it, you can fetch it, just ease your mind.
Oh, that's interesting. Rhythm there.
Going back and fetch it.
This is great. This is Jurassic 5 type stuff right here. The background vocals, the gang vocals.
Catch it. Go back and fetch it.
Dude, bass guitar, one of the stars of this album, really making it sound different.
Check it. Extra special, extraterrestrial, extrasensory perception. So I reckon I'm otherworldly exponentially. The hyperbolic syllabic, sesquidalar mysticness. Rhyme for days like Isaac Hayes to show you where the rhythm is. Flow so limitless. With a doctorate at rockin' this, complete with ugly penmanship. So if the meaning is to go back and get it, then I'ma do it with the flow that's terrific. And leave a message for the future to come back and get. Making sure the history they're teaching you is accurate. You're staying on the surface, which means that I have to get deep as the mob of Prodigy and Havoc is. Go back
Ooh.
and get it. Go get it.
Dual mandolin solos.
Go get it. Go back. Go back. Go get it. Come on.
So tasty. I think that is an upright bass. Yeah, that's cool.
Go back and fetch it, you can catch it, just ease your mind.
If they had an upright bass player performing with them, they could lean more heavily into the old school bluegrass stuff, but I don't know if that would vibe so much with the hip hop feel. I don't know. The only okay, I'll save that thought. forgot the words, so we'll just go do. Are they saying fetch it or veg it? Like they're gonna take it easy or something. Fetch it, I think. Ba-dum-dum. Wow. Huh. Okay. Well, that was surprisingly... I guess it wasn't that surprising. I always expect a lot from Gangstagrass. But that was surprising in a lot of really interesting ways. So, loved it. Loved it. I mentioned, if you just skip to the end here, thank you very much for, at least watching this part. I can't believe that they released Only Way Out Is Through as the lead for this album, like the big single. Because I don't think that song was nearly half as good as really any of the other songs on this album. I do think Obligatory Braggadocio, I think I remember when they posted that one. So they posted that one pretty early too. Maybe that was the first one. I'm not sure. And I just happened to do a reaction to Only Way Out Is Through. But I would say Obligatory Braggadocio would be a little bit more of something that could have maybe appeared on their last album. Pretty much everything else, like Good at Being Bad, Up Higher, Do or Die, Gone Gone, Mother Mother, Avenue Boy, Palette, and It's Alive, and Sanko. Well, maybe not. Well, whatever. There's different things throughout this album, but holy cow, so consistently surprising, so tasty. The bass guitar really stands out to me. I feel like that is something that did help this band step up, and I remember hearing some bass that it really impressed me on No Time for Enemies as well. So I'm really glad they kept that, and maybe they've been touring with the bass player now. I don't even know. I haven't seen them. I don't really go to much live music at all anymore. I don't really enjoy live music really that much. But thank you, every band out in the world, for making albums still so that I can enjoy those. But this sounded phenomenal. I think the worst sounding song on the album was The Only Way Out Is Through. And so that I was sort of trepidatious to get into this, but man, were my fears alleviated listening to those first every other song on the album basically. So many interesting things. That It's Alive, 8-bit sort of sounding, I think it's like some sort of a synth bass type thing. That just was cool. Made that song sound different. And I feel like they could have leaned into the spooky, hairy, a spooky horror sound effecty type things a little bit more. But then I don't know if it would have fit with the rest of the album, and it wouldn't have necessarily fit the aesthetic. And so I understand that, and that's not necessarily what they were going for. Maybe that was just me putting my impression of what it should be onto the It's Alive part. Yeah, I loved that. I thought, honestly, the soul, I do think I feel that soul stuff influence, but I just don't know what they're pulling influences from. Let me know in the comments if you hear all the stuff I was talking about in there that impressed me. If you're like, oh, that's from this or this or this, let me know, because maybe I just don't have the right idea of what soul music is. I haven't listened to very much of what I don't think what would be considered soul. I guess when I hear soul, I think of something maybe Usher or R. Kelly, maybe, or Pharrell, I guess. I don't really know that much of his stuff, but what's the guy's name? I have one album of his he did with the Roots. John Legend. I don't know. Again, though, it's interesting. They're doing that thing where they're pulling influence from something that I don't generally care for, but putting it together with the Gangstagrass soup, I feel like is really working. If you listen to this album, it is vastly different than American music, which I love, or their earlier stuff, their self-titled Lightning on the Strings, Thunder on the Mic, that kind of stuff, very different. That was much more bluegrass with a hip-hop beat over the top of it and then faster rapping parts. This is much more slowed down, and in a way that I really did appreciate. The bass guitar really helped with the groove across the whole album when it was there. In that last song, I think I noticed right away, or I felt right away, that it was something different about it, and it was an upright bass, I'm pretty sure, and I think that that was great. All the vocals across the whole album were great. The vocal harmonies were very smooth. I did really enjoy, I think it was the fiddle player, when he was singing his parts, the songs felt a little bit more old school for whatever reason, I'm not sure. Dan Whitner, in his song, which was, I think, Gone Gone, that felt like an older older Gangstagrass song, but still with a bit of that more like the feel of this album. And I liked that, but I don't know if I cared for that one as much as the rest of the album. I just really did enjoy that, like Up High, Do or Die, Mother, the one Rench sang, that was a slower one, more minimalistic one. Avenue Boy, really, I just thought was great. Palette, it was fantastic. That last Sankofa, I don't know what that is. It sounds like the name of a place, maybe. Fantastic. Good at being bad, great. Really great album. One thing I would say is that in the past, Gangstagrass has had a lot of like female backing vocals and stuff on the albums, they used to have a dobro player with them, or a fiddle player maybe at one point that was female, and a dobro player that was female as well. I do kind of miss having that in there, having that extra voice with that very different sort of timbre to add thickness to the gang vocals, and then also to have some like female like oohs and ahs and things in there. I do really feel like that extra layer helps add to the sort of gangy bluegrassiness of it. And then also with soul music, I think like there's lots of female backing vocals in that. So and in rap / hip hop music as well. So I feel like that's something that could add to this, but I didn't really necessarily miss it. I mean, they had many different voices throughout every song, so they were doing a good job with utilizing everyone's vocal potential, I think. Even better than they ever have before, especially that Avenue Boy song. Like, that sounded like nothing they've ever done before that I can remember. And then there were hints of that on a lot of other stuff too, and I really enjoyed that. There were a few moments where the gang vocals were like shouty gang vocals, like very Jurassic 5e, and I really loved that. I love any time a group does that. That really sticks with me, and I think that they did a great job with those parts when they were there. The only thing I would complain about is The Only Way Out Is Through. I just don't think that song, I didn't care for that song as much. It was definitely a different thing, a different vibe, and maybe that's more of what would be considered a modern vibe, like modern rap vibe, and so maybe that's why they chose to do that song the way that they did. But I do think the vocals were very crispy in that song, and I didn't really feel that anywhere else on the album. Maybe a little bit obligatory braggadocio, and maybe on It's Alive a tiny bit. But every other song, everything felt very nice and smooth. The frequencies were handled very well. And even, I'm not saying Only Way Out Is Through sounded bad. I just don't think it sounded as good. And I think even like Obligatory Braggadocio and It's Alive and maybe Gone sounded better sonically than The Only Way Out Is Through. So and maybe they weren't presenting that as their big single. Maybe that's just happened to be the one that I did a reaction to when I had my friend Chris here and we were filming a Metallica video. And I was like, hey, let's do this reaction to this. And I really did, was surprised by that song. No, I don't think he did that with me. I think that I just did that one myself. We did the new Mayday song with Chris. But anyway, that's the only thing that kind of baffles me about this. But, excuse me, I do remember on their last album, No Time for Enemies, I remember being disappointed in that single as well and then really liking the rest of the album. So, I mean, what do I know? You know, maybe they're releasing their singles. Maybe there's a reason I don't listen to much modern rap, and maybe the songs that I don't connect with as much on the album are the ones where they're leaning more into that, and that's why I don't connect with those songs as much. I don't know. But I think I did a pretty good job. I tried to articulate why I did enjoy the songs that I did enjoy on this, and the elements within each song that I did enjoy. The drums were just tight throughout, and I believe they're all programmed still like Drum Machine E. The fills, some of the fills do sound the same from song to song, where there's a little bit of a break and then some sort of like a da-da-da-da-da-da. But it just sounds fantastic every time. It just really fits the vibe so well, and it just really, I just love it. The drums, the selection of the drum sounds from song to song was perfect. In that one track, I can't remember exactly which one it was. It might have been Mother. That like ping pong sounding snare, really great. The Only Way Out Is Through was cool with that sort of like a snappy wooden sound that was in there. Very interesting percussion sounds throughout that I thought were handled very well, mixed very well. I think that overall this is just fantastic. This is really fantastic. I really enjoyed the album a lot. I do think it will end up on my top 12 albums of the year list, but it's going to be tough because we do have a lot of really good albums that have been released this year. And so far, my top 4 or 5 are really, really great. And then when it comes to the end of the year and I do my sort of huge binge at the end of the year of all the stuff that I kind of missed or that I was saving throughout the year to listen to and never got to, there's a lot of stuff. And I know a lot more bands now than I did. And since I've had Spotify Premium for the last 6 months, because my cousins gifted it to me for 6 months, so that's actually going to be coming up, I think, here pretty soon. I've been using Spotify a lot more to listen to a lot of things that I wouldn't have necessarily been able to listen to in the past, because it is very frustrating to try to listen to Spotify when it has ads, especially if you're just trying to discover something and you click on it and then you get an ad. Spotify is generally pretty good about letting you listen to small samples of things for a while, and then it'll insist that you listen to a few ads. But without having to have any ads whatsoever, it's been really nice to be able to just do that, and then whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm sure you listening to this, you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this. I'm so happy that this band is still around. They've been around for a long time. I've been following them for a very long time. And I'm so happy that they continue to evolve in ways that surprise me and that I think are positive for them. And I just really think, like I said at the beginning of the video, you can really see Rench leveling up throughout his career. And I think it's just putting the right people around him, and he's maybe relying a little less on himself and the people around him to contribute to everything, and I feel like that's just working out so well to this group's favor. They're not, this Gangstagrass used to be more about every song features different rappers and stuff, and they haven't done that for a while since Our Son and Dolio the Sleuth joined the band officially, I guess. They were touring with them for a long time, and then officially they were part of the band, and then they did still do a lot of collaborations, but on this album I mostly heard them. And I don't feel like anything has been taken away from the band by having that be the case. I personally like, one of the reasons I like Jurassic 5 so much is that there's, 4 rappers basically that can appear at any point in any song. And then when they all sing together or do their gang vocally stuff together, it sounds like a big group of people, because it is a group of people. And so I don't mind it when there's different voices, and I actually really like that a lot, but there's just so many different vocalists in this band to contribute different parts and different styles that it really, I don't feel like I'm missing very much at all, having that big collaborative point of Gangstagrass be really taken, minimalized here. But the album did still feel so diverse and so interesting to listen to that I'm not complaining about that at all, So thank you very much for watching this. If the people from Gangstagrass ever see this, I think they've seen maybe one of my videos in the past. And Gangstagrass is great with their fans. I've been on their newsletter for their email chain newsletter thing forever, and I say it in every video. They do such a good job with that. I think they even had a couple days before the album came out, I got an email from them that was like, "Hey, let's stream our whole album here now," or something like that. And it's that's so cool. They do such neat things. That's how I got this hat. They are like, "We're giving away hats. All you have to do is pay for shipping." And so I was like, I'll get a hat for $5 or whatever it was. Because otherwise I would not have bought a hat. I have 2 Gangstagrass shirts. I've only gotten to see them once. I don't know. I think that they're really good with fans, and they're really good with interacting with people, and you can tell that they care about the people that care about their music, and just people in general. They care about. But they're such a diverse group of people that it's nice to see that they all work so well together, which, I mean, obviously wouldn't they, just because they would obviously be able to work together because they're diverse. That shouldn't matter whatsoever. But it's just nice to see, and I just feel like they treat everyone who listens to their music so well. So I would really recommend joining their newsletter. And when I went to their website just now before we started to check to see if they had anything listed in terms of who was featured on what song, the first thing that pops up is join our newsletter. And so yeah, if you do, I would recommend doing that and going there. They post really, they don't send things a lot. I will definitely say that they don't spam your email or anything like that. But when you get something from them, it's always worth looking into. And sometimes they'll just send, like, here's a link to free. In the past, I've gotten a free, like, high quality MP3 instrumental versions of their albums that they just posted, for people in their newsletter to have. They've done secret website stuff where you decode messages on their website and stuff, and they just do cool things. I really appreciate them for those elements, and so yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I've got a lot of things to edit, so I'm going to take my computer back upstairs and probably work on editing stuff for the next couple of weeks. We've got a lot of things coming up on the channel. We were supposed to be doing some Megadeth for the very first time I was going to be listening to, and we were going to take my elitist metal friend who absolutely hates things like this and show them Linkin Park's first album for the first time. And so that's going to be a fun video when we get to filming that, but it's getting to be summer and it's harder to get all of us together to do that, but it's worth it to wait and do it together. So we're going to be doing that coming up eventually, but I think we might have to move on to some other projects. I'm going to be getting into Tool eventually. I haven't heard any of their music at all. I heard Lateralis, I believe, the song, or Schism, the song. The music video freaked me out when I was in high school back in the day, but that's really the only song of theirs that I know. I think that's the I know the pieces fit, that song. So I'm going to be doing some Tool. I want to react to a Trivium album. I was really impressed by the first Periphery song I heard at the beginning of the year, so I want to check that out. Some more Periphery. So there's a lot of things. I do have a Discord that I can send people to. I'll post a link to it in the description of this video. We mostly the people there are from Metallica fans, but there are people there. I mean, I think everyone that's in there is a Metallica fan, but it is a Discord based around this YouTube channel and the sort of community that we're slowly building. And if you're someone who wants to go there and join in the conversation, please do. Don't feel like you have to, don't feel intimidated by all the Metallica stuff. I don't really know anything about Metallica, even though I've heard all their albums now. We still will do Symphony of Metallica eventually, but I'm hoping to get some new equipment soon so we can do videos along with audio. Rather than just audio, we can do some video stuff as well. So I'm hoping that when I get some new equipment that something like that becomes a little easier. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm very grateful that I'm still able to do this channel and everything, and let's hope that next time I get together with you guys, I have some good news about my cancer results. And yeah, so thank you, Gangstagrass, for making a really great album, something that I can keep, that keeps me excited for the next thing that this band does. And there are a lot of bands that I have loved since high school that I feel needed to have made changes throughout their career to keep themselves fresh. And I don't need every band to change completely, but I feel like the willingness of Rench to add new elements and change the vibes of things and to go with the flow of the people in the band really helps keep this project just super exciting and something that should be looked forward to. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.